Hello everyone, my name is Robot Ren. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Ark Survival Ascended. Today we are over by the Redwoods in what is going to be our new base location. I am super excited to finally get this going and finally get this done so that we can get moved over here and really get started on progress for the future. But before we do that, let me show you around a little bit. First of all, here's where we're located. And basically, there's like this little island kind of surrounded on one side by a ravine and on the other side by water. And with a little creative placement of walls, you can kind of use the terrain to your advantage and take over this whole area pretty easily. And once you do that, it's pretty self-contained and pretty safe. So, I did get started on some of it already. So you can see on this side, I've got the beginnings of a wall and a gate there. And the wall comes back around over here and will end in this ravine area once we get it up to a point where dinos can't come up and over the wall, at least not very easily. So then this cliff wall here serves as, excuse me, Mr. Therazino. This cliff wall serves as the primary wall on this side, and as we come around here, things start to dip down again, and we start building walls. I've got some spikes there just for added protection, and then over here is our other dino gate. And then back in here, it's kind of hard to see, what with it being a little dark and tree covered, but the walls will continue up to this part when it then turns into a cliff face again and comes back around to where we started. So that area represents a very large landmass, which makes for a nice place to store lots of dinos and very large dinos. Very large dinos like the Gigas that we're eventually going to get. But that is not going to be for quite some time. But before we can do any of that, we got to start building this place in. So I have spent several real-life days just gathering materials and building stuff. So hopefully that prep work will have paid off. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of stuff here, and hopefully that will be enough to at least get the basics down. So today I'm hoping to finish the wall, obviously, and that's what this is for. And once we finish the wall, I would like to build a dino breeding barn. And I've got the basic layout of the breeding barn right here. And then if we have time, I will go ahead and build our workshop area. So the building is pretty simple. You can, by the way, build from... Ooh. That frame rate dropped. You can build from the back of your RG. And I probably will at some point. But for right now, we'll just keep it on the ground. So use solid pieces. Man. Getting a little hard to see here, game. I use solid pieces for ground level, and then I use these doorways for the second level just to keep some light coming through. And then we'll top it off. Talking is hard. We will top it off with solid walls again. Maybe. If the game wants to cooperate. So it's really a pretty simple building technique. Now, back in ASE, these walls, back when they weren't all grouped together, which I much prefer, by the way, but when you had to build doorways versus solid walls individually, the doorways actually cost less materials. So back in ASE, I would do this both for the light, but also because it took less materials. Now, that's not as big of a deal, but I do like that natural light comes through the walls. It doesn't block it off completely, and that you'll be able to see any dinosaurs that are hanging around outside your wall that you may need to address. What do we got here? Is that a Fiumia? It is a Fiumia. Get out of here, pig. What are you, Mr. Moose? Or rather, elk. 36. Never mind. Oh, what are you, Mr. Elk? 24. You're even worse. So I guess I could be building this from the inside where it's maybe slightly a little bit safer. So here we're getting a little close to the ground. I don't want anything to run and jump through. And raptors can make it through this size of doorway. So really don't want raptors making their way through. If they do, we'll be able to take care of them, but still. No reason to tempt fate. So yeah, this is basically what we're going to be doing for the immediate future anyway. I like building. It's a pretty zen experience. So it's a nice change of pace from constantly taming stuff. Even though, obviously, I really love taming stuff up. So over here, did I forget? I did. I did. So what we want to do is have a human-sized doorway here so that we don't have to open the gate. Every time we want to walk outside, which is surprisingly often. We're just going to put one of those in there. Need to get a door for that so that raptors don't sneak their way in there, but now what I do to do this, I don't know, maybe a lot of people do this, maybe they don't, I don't know. I love these particular fence supports because they keep everything at an even level, right? As opposed to the other type that are on the ground and keep things at ground level. These will stay, they'll snap to each other and they'll keep everything in an even line all the way across. Now, when ASA came out, they made the stone pillars structural. I don't have any stone pillars on this side. They made the stone pillars structural, so you don't have to keep these up here anymore. If you place pillars down every so often, I think I've got those up here. Because unfortunately, I was very used to the S Plus mod in ASE, which allowed you to stack these fence pillars, which was really, really cool. Unfortunately, you can't do that anymore. I don't know if there is an S Plus equivalent that would allow that to happen, but that's all right because now we've got structural stone pillars. So, and you can hang the walls off of the wall next to it. So right here, I've got my corner, and then I'll place this out a length of 4, and then hit it with the pillar, and then you can continue building on there. But every 4th wall, you'll have to have a pillar for support. So that's why these pillars are there. And then you can go back and remove these if you want to. They're not super expensive, but they do take a little while to build. They're kind of slow. So you can come back in and remove these, and then keep building your walls with them. I always leave them in the corner, because once you pull them up, they don't snap to the wall again. So I like to leave the ones in the corners just as reference points in case I need to make a change and put the fence post back down again. But anyway, I'm going to continue doing this. And then soon we're going to have a fully enclosed base. Wow, well, while I was doing that building, apparently a Megatherium got in over here. Beat on Daisy and Pillsbury here quite a bit. Pillsbury. Bro, chill. I'm guessing a bug or something got in here, because otherwise Megatheriums would not attack. Anyway, it damaged a lot of things around here, but that's a pretty easy fix. Just highlights that having this place completely walled off is really important to making it safe, but once we get it fully walled off, it should be virtually impenetrable. So, speaking of having it fully walled off, I think we are completely sealed in for the most part. Got the walls up over here. These walls are finished over here. Well, I say finished. They're sealed in. They're completed enough to keep things out. But I will go back and add some angle transition pieces to make it look a little bit prettier. Oh my gosh, we are getting a cold wave. But that's okay because it only makes it 50-ish degrees Fahrenheit. Oh no, no, I am ice cubed. Holy cow, that doesn't happen very often in this section of the jungle. Anyway, that will take care of most of the wall for now. But there is still this elephant in the room. It's part of what I love about this location, but it is something that needs to be addressed. You can go all the way through here on the ground over into the redwoods, but that is going to have to be blocked off. I'm not super concerned about it, though, because things rarely come through there unless they're chasing me. And then they have definitely come through there before. But I'm glad. I was starting to think I was going a little crazy by having 200 stone walls. But I was not crazy. I used the vast majority of them. For now, though, you know, let's grab Daisy. Kind of low on wood. I'm going to need wood to repair these things up, and I want to have them repaired up before we get building. Because, yeah, they took... Oh, it's not that bad. But Daisy will make quick work of grabbing some wood. So here's the other reason why I wanted to be right next to the redwoods, and that is resource availability. These redwood trees are fantastic for wood, and I just hauled Daisy over here and let him munch on this tree for a little bit, and then I'm going to have all the wood that I need to do those repairs and build more stuff. Let me show you. So I built this barn. This barn is a temporary barn. I built this barn just to house creatures while I am building stuff before we, completely secure this location. Look at that. Almost 2,000 wood in no time at all. Daisy is a champ in those redwood trees. They give out the materials. So, that, get some fiber. Oh, and found a baby oviraptor. Just chilling without a parent, so I tamed it up too. We're gonna need a couple oviraptors with all the breeding that we're gonna do eventually. That was dumb. Come back here, bird. I want you nearby, just in case. It's safer, but it's not completely safe. So I've been watching Flinger Foo's series on the 5 Tame Challenge. And I'm a little behind because I've been watching Monarchy, primarily. But now that's over. So I've been catching up on Flinger stuff. And he did a build episode. Actually, he's done a couple. And I always enjoy build episodes, but I'm just not sure how other people feel about them. So I'm hesitant to do too much building. I don't want it to be boring. Okay. But I think a little bit of a build episode is worth it. So this is gonna be my my breeding barn. So up front here, we will have a bunch of air conditioners. So we can throw out eggs up here and let them hatch. Pick out the ones that we want. Drag them back here into this larger area to let them raise up without fear of other things attacking them. But then also keep containment on the ones that don't get selected, right? Because they tend to run away and, well, anyway. So I like to have a fully self-contained breeding barn, but, and here's the reason why I use the fence post, sometimes eggs and babies react poorly to foundations, right? Not all the time, but sometimes. I have lost more than a few tames, baby tames, to not realizing that they fell through the floor. So I like, if at all possible, to keep it just dirt. It makes it relatively easy to see them, and I don't have as many problems with them falling through and then dying because I didn't know that they were there. But if you don't have any foundations, all this stuff will grow back. So we are going to have some foundations along the side here. We'll have some doorways around here on both sides. And that should keep most everything out. So let's go grab the materials. Hopefully I have enough. If not, we'll make more. Alright, now let's get to building. Let's see the shape come to life pretty quickly. kind of like to do, you know, not just a straight up box whenever possible. There's nothing wrong with boxes. It's just, well, it gets a little boring sometimes, and I try to be a little more creative with my building. This is going to be a slightly, I don't know, new technique, new to me. Oh. I was testing it earlier to make sure that it would work out. And that is why I brought these. Whoops. Come back. That's why I brought these, just in case. Yeah, okay. So, it is going to be relatively tall. So that I can fit some larger size dinos in there. And I'm going to need some pillars. It's always a balancing game. Alright. Stick with me here. So what I want are these angled pieces here, but they don't want to be here, right? So I place down on this side a regular wall, and then on this side an angled piece. And then when I pick up the regular wall, the angled piece stays. It's all about order of operations. Come on. There we go. So we'll do it again on this side. And there's a reason for this. And the reason is I want to use the new barn door, garage door things. But they will not hang off either pillars or walls, or the quarter walls directly. Which is unfortunate. But I also don't want to have a full wall sticking out here either. So they will hang off the angled walls. So that kind of, you know, there's a little bit here. Now, that's there. We can get rid of these fence posts. Get this door going. And bada bing, bada boom. We got a big opening. Now, I genuinely don't know how relevant it's going to be on this map in particular. I came up with this idea, or I built this style of thing on Extinction because Managarmers won't fit through a normal dino gate. So every time I wanted to bring a mana in to breed, I'd have to remove the dino gate, bring the mana in, place the dino gate back down. And then they came out with these, and manas will fit through that really easily. So I adapted my dino gate design to do this thing this way. And I think it works out pretty well. I think it looks pretty nice. Or it will, eventually, anyway. So yeah, super happy about that. I want these to always open out. For the time being, that's fine. So now, I don't think I'm going to have enough wood walls, I'll be honest. I don't think I'm going to have nearly enough wood walls. But that is okay. We will continue going until we run out. I really should have dropped something else off so I'm not quite so encumbered here. I don't know, maybe I will. Maybe I will have just enough. Alright, that won't work. So now is when we have to place down the foundations. Let's make sure that that's going the right direction. There. Nope. Oh. This may be a problem. Maybe a problem. I don't know. I would, Let's see. Let's not give up just yet. But we may have to change things up just a little bit. Because having those foundations there is really important to the totality of the build. But it may not be a requirement. Alright. And eventually, matter of fact, I really should have done it already. Some of those will be replaced with greenhouse pieces to get natural light inside of here. I don't mind having light sources, but sometimes it can be a little framey, and natural light just looks nicer. All right. So because I used, or because I didn't use just straight square pieces down there, you'll have to adjust by using some triangle pieces. Yeah, see? No foundations. Dang it. You can put down pillars. It will fix some of it, but I may need to start from this corner instead of up here to make sure that I have enough room for... Yeah. Alright, well, I don't know how much of this I'm going to leave in, but this is one of the things that happens when you build on the fly. Like, even though I had a design in mind, and I did, you know, some initial prep work, did my due diligence, it doesn't always work out exactly, and then you just have to start over. So I'm going to start over and get us back to this point, and then I'll bring you back when we're ready to complete this build. Alright, so here's how I'm going to fix this. So I've removed all the fence posts here, but while the fence posts were still in place, I placed the walls here, and then I placed a pillar to hold the wall in place, and then I could remove the fence post, because if you try to place a fence post, it's going to want to snap, and I don't want that. Now, all those are is holding a proximate position. I'm not expecting perfection here. I just want to get it close to where it was before. So now I'm going to place a foundation. I'm going to set free adjustment to where it's only vertical. Get it down to just above the ground and place that. Now, bring up your fence post again. You won't be able to place it here. You can, however, place it right here. And then once you remove this foundation, the snapping point will be available. And now you've got your new repositioned fence post. From there, you can index off of that for the rest of the build, which is what I'm going to do now. Alright, I got some things worked out during the night. Got us back up to where we were, which is right here, except for, since I was testing, I had to put down these pillars. Now, as I said before, pillars are no longer decorative, they are structural, and in this case, these pillars are absolutely required. So, go ahead and place down, I think it's 2 pillars there, and then a third to get it in the ground. Place down your pillars there. You can put them down here as well if you want. They're not needed for structural purposes, but they can look nice for decorative purposes. And we'll go back and we'll do more pillars after the fact, but those are really necessary from a structural perspective. Now, these are all... Ooh, that was close. These, some of these, and some of these. These are all triangle pieces up to here. And I went back and I made these as well. Why wait until later? Let's get them done now. So, it's those pieces there. You can see what's going to happen with the rest of the roof, but I went ahead and placed a few pieces just to make it easier to get across from side to side. Get in there, piece. All right. And then this one right here. Cool. I take these. I guess I could put these on my hotbar. Since I'm going to be switching back and forth between them a little bit. So, angled pieces go here. Maybe. There we go. All right, got it. And then another of these pieces here. And then back to the triangles to to complete this side of the roof. And that one right there. And then this fills that out. And there we go. Now, go back to the normal quarters. Where is the quarters? Oh, they're on my... Blind idiots. That's going to be too many. Alright, back to the quarters. We're going to make them triangles. We're going to finish out this right here. And none of this will work if you don't have those pillars placed. So if you try to do this and you get red, says you can't place it down, check to make sure that you've got your pillars down. Now, I'm going to finish these off with just wood, but you could absolutely put more skylights in here as well. Just for better internal lighting. Oh, and I guess I did this off cam as well. So these are just the triangle roof pieces. There are two configurations you can do with that. Come on. Game, work with me. Game, come on. You can do that style or this style. So if you do this style and then you... Let's just remove it, Ren, and show. Matter of fact, I'm going to need to do that anyway because... Put that there, just like that. Now, where, unfortunately, this design kind of falls down at the very, very end is right here. We don't have a piece that will fill that properly, so I just use the normal... Hello! Excuse me. You are not welcome here. Why is my Overraptor attacking? Buddy, I appreciate the hand, I really do, but why are you on attack? Alright. Hey, thanks. Seriously, that's awesome. I've never had an Overraptor come to my aid before. So, that's a really good example of why we need to have this closed up. Because I'm betting they came across the little bridge there. Anyway, let's continue with the little building here. Finalize that, and the rest is decorative. I was trying to get that to work, but there's no foundation support, and I'm already kind of unhappy with how, like, you know, before that was right down on the ground level, and now we're gonna have to put like a little ramp there to make sure that nothing gets out. And that's how it was for me on Extinction. I was just excited because I thought we were going to be able to do it that way, but unfortunately, because these foundations are critical to the design, it's just going to have to be a little bit taller. But it's not the end of the world. This also is a little bit taller than I would have liked. I will have to do some ramps there, or some stairs. Not a big deal. Just not exactly how I was hoping. But as you can see, with the windows in there, we get some pretty decent natural light, even though this is a pretty dark area of the map. But we're not done yet. Need some walls. Actually, I'm not going to have enough walls. But that's okay. We'll make some more. So, this is how I do it. You can do it however you like. But this is how I do it. I think it's a very useful thing to have. So, starting right here, have a couple of walls. And the same on this side. I just put that in the wrong place. That is okay. There. Now, get up over here. We're going to put down one of these kinds of doors. The secret door. Right there. And then we're going to finish it off with some triangle pieces. And that makes like a very nice little secret room for putting things. Things that you want out of the way, but are, you know, really kind of necessary. Because this is a breeding location for me, these are going to house my cryo storage. And yes, we will have cryo fridges and cryopods at some point in the near future. Probably the really near future. But you can also put things like generators in there. Matter of fact, in my base on extinction, I had my tech generator right here. So, very versatile little areas. And then I tend to have a whole group of storage boxes right there for storing leftover eggs that can be used for improving your creatures in the future. But what is next? Going to need some ramps. Or stairs, in this case. Just to make ingress and egress a little bit easier. Like I said, it ended up a little bit taller than I would have liked. However, there are lots of places in Ark that are somewhat flat, but not completely flat. And I feel like people tend to struggle trying to figure out, you know, how to build in an area that's not completely flat. I personally prefer to build in areas that aren't completely flat. I think that additional verticality makes for a fun challenge and an interesting looking build. Okay. This is where we're going to run out of pieces. Matter of fact, I'm going to go make some more pieces so that we have enough moving forward. And then I will bring you back and we'll finish off the front area. Okay, I think we have everything we need to finish this off. Now, we're going to take some wood quarters here. I love these things. This is the best thing that's been added to Ark in a long time. We're going to add some quarter pieces right here along this wall line. Buddy, you are in my way. Oh, I'm too heavy for you. Alright, that's fine. It's fine. And now we're going to take wall pieces with the window shapes in them. And we're going to place them on here. You're going to have to flip them with the E key. You want them facing in this way because we're going to put air conditioners in there. And if they're flipped the other way, then visually, the air conditioners will be pointing the wrong way. And while it's only a visual thing, it kind of bothers me if they're pointing out. So, flip these around here. Then, whoops. I really want to get rid of that. Gonna go back to the regular wall pieces. We're gonna make this too high. Because you don't want the little buggers getting over that wall and behind here. Because we're not gonna have easy access to that after the fact. You can always pull up some quarter walls, but if you don't need to, it's just that much better. And then finally, we're going to put ramps here. And sometimes you may have to place... You may have to check your order of operations here. Like, I'm going to pull this guy up here. Put this one down first, I think. And remember that you can use the Q key to switch through your snap points until you get the one that you want. Which is really very helpful. There you go. So now, just imagine, if you will, you've got a bunch of little hatchlings here. You've picked out the ones that you want. You're ready to get rid of the ones that you don't. You hit the first one. They all take off running. They run up this ramp, and then they've got nowhere to go. It is very effective. We're going to finish off with these quarter walls here. Just to tidy things up, make it look nice. And then a couple of full wall pieces here. Because for some reason, I've never had any luck getting quarters to fit in there. But that's okay. Unfortunately, the angled pieces are at the wrong angle. No, don't get on it. The angled pieces are at the wrong angle for that to work, but we might be able to plug that hole up. Buddy, you are really in my way here. I really need you to move. Like, I love you, but let's see if we can get... Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. It's unfortunate. I may have to play with that a little bit. I don't want anything getting behind there, but I don't want a full piece sticking out like that either. That just does not work for me. Either way, that is the majority of the build done. The rest of it is just cosmetic. I will put some skins on there, probably from the Bob's Tall Tales. I'll add a few more pillars just to make it look nice. But overall, that's a pretty nice looking, very functional breeding barn that we are going to use the heck out of in the future. So it'll be a little while before we have enough material to put all those air conditioners in, but once we do, This is going to be an absolute breeding palace. But I think that is going to be all for today. You know, we got a fair amount accomplished, I think. This is just the start of this base. The next thing we're going to do is a workshop area that has, you know, our industrial forge, our industrial, or our fabricator, all the things that we need to make stuff moving forward in the future. Once we get that done, we can really move in and call this place home. But that will be for a future episode. If you don't mind, if you're watching this and you make it to this point, let me know what you think down in the comments. Was this an interesting video? Do you want more build videos moving forward? Or, you know, is this just build it off screen and show us when you're done type thing? I would really appreciate it if you would take a moment just to drop a comment down there and let me know. Anyway, my name is Robot Ren. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.